Welcome to Geneijin 101 Episode 5. This is going to cover Urien. Going to talk about the enders, the combos, fancy stuff. Then we're going to talk about resets, Zembo tension stuff, and character-specific options. As well as a little bit of talk on Oki against Urien and how to handle it. So, let's talk about the enders first. You have hard kick up kicks into light punch or medium punch shoulder into either walk up crouch medium punch up kicks or forward fierce carry dash punch, right? Those are your two basic enders off of that. You can also get that off of a double shoulder ender, medium punch or heavy punch starter, and a medium punch shoulder, forward fierce carry dash punch. Or you also have the character specific ender, which is heavy punch dash punch, light punch shoulder, forward fierce, crouch medium punch up kicks. It's a double side swap combo. So I'm going to showcase the damage of a regular combo with the quote-unquote universal combo that I've showcased in previous videos on Urien versus like basic Shoto type combos. And you're going to see a lot of similarities between Urien and Shotos because their combos are almost identical, with some differences. So, talking about the basic combo with forward medium kick, stand medium into palm. You know, basic combo like that is like 78 to 80 damage depending on which ender you go for. Now, a normal combo off of 1, 2, 3 activate into the double forward medium kicks into palm. Same combo is 86 damage. So you're netting a positive 8 damage, which is 10% more damage on the combo. So doing a universal combo versus a character specific combo on this character in specific is actually more beneficial to do the character specific combos rather than the universal stuff. Now the universal stuff is only technically universal because it works on every character, but it is more optimal against other characters like I've talked about before against Alex, Dudley. It's also good against Ibuki and Oro and Twins and stuff like that. But let's talk about the basic combo that I just showed. It's basically the same combo that you would do on a Shoto, which is forward medium kick times 2 into palm, and then you have up kicks under. And if you want them to stay cornered, do light punch shoulder. Medium punch shoulder will keep them cornered half the time, but there is a chance that it will hit Urien at the correct timing to pop him back to the other side, which is not what you want to do. Although if you pop him to the other side, you can do the forward fierce into crouch medium punch up kicks as well. But that's very inconsistent, so it's not something that you should even try. But so you have the other option of doing the heavy punch dash punch, right? Now, without going into the character specific ender yet, you can do like close standing medium kick into forward fierce into dash punch, right? Which would end up being around like 88 damage. So this technically has more damage than the crouching medium punch upkick ender. But the crouch medium punch upkick ender off of the light punch dash punch shoulder or medium punch shoulder will net you longer knockdowns for better Oki. So that's the major difference, is you trade damage for Oki. Now, the other thing is the character specific combo, which is as follows. Or ender, I should say, not combo. Now that's a 90 damage combo, and it gives you the maximum damage possible versus Urien, but you get the best Oki. You can still do the forward fierce punch into... Oops. Forgot the up kicks. To get 89 or 90 damage. It's variable for whatever reason. So yeah, that's like your bread and butters. All of those choices. Now the character specific ender is mostly going to give you a slightly better meter, and also get you the best Oki possible. It's also more difficult to get off of free freestyle situations, because getting far stand heavy punch into dash punch is difficult. But you can still do the Kara standing medium kick stuff against Urien. So let's showcase that. Now, it's obviously not as much damage, but that's just to showcase that that ender does work off of your freestyle stuff. Now, because of Urien's hitbox, you can actually do some weird stuff like close standing medium kick into palm for medium kick, palm for medium kick, palm, without having to do Karas or anything like that. It's a little bit hard because of the way that his hitbox works, but it is possible. But now we're going to talk about making things a little fancier in the corner by adding Kara palms. Just doing the light kick for your Kara, it gives you the best damage that you can possibly get in your combo against Urien. So it's going to be forward medium kick, and then Kara palm. And this is 93 damage. The other enders work as well. The heavy kick up kicks into the other two enders. And the damage is as follows. Special ender is 93 damage. Forward heavy punch into Kara dash punch is 92 damage. And the up kicks ender is 89 or 90 damage. They all give approximately the same amount of meter. So it doesn't matter which one you do as far as meter goes. But the maximum damage is going to be off the dash punch ender. Now, full Kara palms also work on him. But it's a little bit more difficult to get the Kara palms to start. But this combo does 99 to 100, 98 to 100 damage. And it's relatively consistent. The meter is about the same as a regular combo. And so that's about a 10% damage gain. So now let's talk about the differences in the double shoulder stuff. There's not really a whole bunch of it. Everything works against him. The basic combos all work. All the enders work off of the double shoulders. You have double shoulder into crouch medium punch up kicks, and you have double shoulder into forward fierce and whatever. So you can also do the same sort of situation that I was talking about before with the twins, where you can reset your opponent. If you walk far enough, you can get the close standing medium kick. But this does not good against Urien because Urien has headbutt, which will get off the ground on frame 1, and it will beat a lot of your normals in some cases, especially if he wastes EX on it or uses EX on it. So it's not really worth doing. Now, that's basically it for the corner stuff. It's very simple against Urien. So we're going to be talking about Zempo stuff in a little bit, and that gets a lot more complicated. But let's talk about what happens if you end up getting a 1-2-3, and you're cornered against your opponent, right? So he does whatever, and then you get 1-2-3 activate. That's wonderful. Well, what are your choices? Well, the basic corner carry is the same thing that you would do against most characters, which is crouching medium punch or medium kick into heavy punch, and then dash punch, delay standing medium punch, forward medium kick, and then you have a bunch of different options as far as your enders. Almost every ender gives you about 10% meter and does around 67% damage. You can also start this off with Daipon Loop if you really want, as well. So and that's going to net you a little bit more damage. The damage is marginal. It's going to be between 4 and 7 damage depending on how many Daipons you add into the combo, but it will scale your meter slightly more because of the extra heavy punch buttons that you're doing. You also have the other basic crap where you can literally just walk up and Zempo your opponent afterward to re-corner. So that's another option. And then you also have standing medium punch into heavy punch at some ranges. But it's a little bit more difficult to get, so I wouldn't suggest doing it. Just if you want something special and fancy, you can go for it. It's really not that great. It does work more consistently in the corner. And it does give you decent damage as well, but you'd have to do a slightly different under. Now, when talking about the mid-screen stuff, you also have the same sort of shoulder combos that you would against Shotos. Where you, unlike against twins, you can go full screen. And this is a 69 damage combo-ish. The damage obviously is not consistent because this is the Xbox version and not the arcade version. So dash punches and stuff may be the shoulders might be the optimal choice here. And if you were to cut it one more short and then do dash punch, you would be able to do the proper ender. So pretty much no matter what you're doing, you're gonna net between 60 and 70 damage. So it's all good. Now let's talk about actual mid-screen, and not like your opponent is cornered. So if you end up mid-screen and you do something, it only takes 3 shoulders in order to get them to the corner. And then you can continue with whatever you want. You can also do 2 shoulders into dash punch, etc. But it's not really the best choice in my opinion. You also have Daipon Loop, which is the fancy version of this. But it also nets about the same damage, between 69 and 70 against a standing opponent. The best choices off of this are like a mixture of the two of them. And obviously you can go into the other ender and probably get close to 75 damage. It is a little bit more difficult to obviously do these combos. But they are still strong, and they'll do close to 80 damage, which is about what you'll net for a universal combo in the corner. Now, I didn't show this before, but you can do the other universal combo, which is the walk forward standing heavy punch into palm. And the reason why this is important is because during Geneijin, being able to land palms and stuff makes enders a lot easier. And it's a lot easier to do off of like freestyle situations like that. But in ideal situations, you don't want to be using that because it's less damage than other choices. Now, talking about mid-screen stuff, getting standing medium kick, you have the same sort of choices that you do against Shotos. All the same combos work, except you have the crouch medium punch up kick ender as well. Same thing as crouching medium kick. You have the same enders that work on him in the same way to continue the start of the combo. So you can continue the combo with whatever you want to do. That's just an example. Doing like crouch light into a far stand medium punch, far stand heavy punch, shoulder, or Daipon loop, or whatever you want to go into. Now, let's talk about character-specific stuff real quick. The only important character-specific thing is that. And the reason why this is important is because this gives you a better Oki against against Urien than you would normally get mid-screen. But you do sacrifice screen positioning. So as an example, if we are mid-screen, and I go for this, there's still a lot of screen to go. Whereas if I do this, there's a lot less screen to go. So it gives him approximately 60% of the screen, or I should say closer to 45% of the stage, to work with off of the up kicks. And if you screw up your set play or your Oki afterward, they're in a better position to get you mid-screen, or to deal with you mid-screen. Although Urien is one of those characters where you're actually better off fighting him mid-screen, as when he has meter, him getting a back throw is like the equivalent of playing against Denjin Ryu. So like when he back throws you and he is able to throw down an Aegis, you have to guess correctly. Otherwise, you're gonna eat a lot of damage and then you're back into a setup. So staying mid-screen is something that's important to some people, and some people prefer to keep him cornered. I mean, it's really a personal preference thing. You can play very safe against him when he's cornered. So before we talk about the resets that you can do on him, we're going to discuss the actual difference in Oki against him. So for this setup, right, you have forward fierce into dash punch. Now, I didn't set him on quick rise, so that's an important part of this. Okay, so when you do your forward fierce into Kara, you can whiff 3 crouching medium punches, and you'll still be slightly out of his regular throw range unless he actually throws your button. God damn it. But you also have the ability to do 2 and go for a mix-up afterward, but it's slightly more difficult to get your meaties due to distancing and all that stuff. Especially if he's quick rising. Whereas if you were to do this, you have the ability to walk forward before your choice, and it becomes a little bit easier to get your meaties. And you can do your crouching medium punches slower in order to get your meaties properly, if that's your choice. Whether it's close stand medium kick, or crouching medium kick, or whatever it is that you want to do. You also have the ability off of this to do cross-up setups a little bit easier. Sorry. There we go. So that's just an example of one. Now, when you are pressuring your opponent, if you are not timing your dive kicks correctly, you'll just land as they're getting up, or completely whiff. That's why I like jump forward, medium kick, dive kick can be your better choice here. But off of forward fierce into dash punch, you can't jump after 2 whiffs. You have to jump after 1. God damn it. There we go. Because if you jump after 2, he can just headbutt you out of your jump. But if you do it after 2 on this one, you're already in the air before he can even get off the ground for his headbutt. So his choices against you for Oki are a little bit worse. So this one actually puts you at maximum crouching medium punch range relatively efficiently. And so does this one. 1 step back, and you're at maximum distance. So you can more easily get into the position you want to be at against Urien, because if he gets a parry on the crouching medium punch here, the only thing that he can do is stand heavy punch. Because if he goes for crouching medium punch, it's not going to work. If he goes for crouching heavy punch for launch, the first hit might hit you, but it's not going to launch. Or it will whiff completely. And if they try to hit you with a crouching, sweep or something, that's not really going to work either. So their choices are basically like, try to headbutt, in which case this will beat the headbutt, and you can whiff punish headbutt with this into up kicks, which is an important thing to have in this matchup. But it's basically the same concept as against twins, as to why you go for the up kicks. It gives you better Oki and it gives you better meter if you consider the fact that you can guarantee to get 3 crouching medium punches. Because if both enders give you the same meter, which they give you about the same meter, you get 3 crouching medium punches as opposed to 1 if you want to properly mix your opponent up. So that's an extra 4 to 5% extra meter from a knockdown that you would not get otherwise. So now let's talk about resets. And the corner. You have the whatchamacallit reset, the dash punch reset. And as you can see here, it gives you a lot of meter off of that particular reset. But if you like to do resets, you can do jumping medium kick as well. There's a lot of different options for timing. You can also get enders off of Kara standing medium kick off of it relatively easily. You still have the reset there. That's not an optimal choice, obviously, for the reset, but it's just an example. So those are your 2 real options. You also can do crouching heavy kick against him if you really want to, and he has to guess between a side swap. And this also works mid-screen, but the reason why this is not good against Urien is because of EX headbutt. And headbutts off the ground in frame 1. So you lose out on one of your options, which is Zempo, if the Urien likes to headbutt all the time. But if you're just crouching, you can react to the headbutts. So it's a rock, paper, scissors game that you don't really want to be putting yourself into. You'd rather be playing rock, paper, scissors where your opponent's already in the air, and if they land, then you can deal with them because you're a little bit further away from them. So those are your basic resets. It's the same thing that you would have off of normal situations, and then you also have the super jump heavy kick, and then different sides off of Zempo Tenjin. And then you still have, I believe, the jumping medium punch one, but it's a little bit more difficult. if not impossible. So ideally, you want to be resetting with, you know, other buttons. But you can do the jump light kick one in order to get the forward fierce, the Nito special. But as you can see there, he lands relatively fast from the reset, so he can block it. So it's not as good. It can catch someone unsuspecting because the dash punch will allow you to, or the Daikai will hit and allow you to dash punch still, but it's not worth doing. So if you're gonna mix them up off of the normal stuff, either the jump medium kick stuff or the universal overhead. Now let's talk about mid-screen resets. Mid-screen, you still have universal overhead. You still have jump medium kick. And you also have the crouching heavy kick. But because his feet are so pushed far back in his stance, you can't do it normally. You have to do a Kara, which is makes it not worth it on Urien at all, in my opinion. Try one more time, and if not, then there we go. So you have to Kara the crouching heavy kick, and it's really not worth it. You can just do crouching medium kick into the sweep if you really want to do it, but it's also not worth it because of the fact that he can do headbutt. Now, mid-screen combos and stuff, you know, I already showed those, so we're going to start off by doing Zempo. So, let's make the opponent block the entire time. All guard. And then we're going to talk about Zempo stuff. Now, what's most important to note here is that Zempo is really easy against Urien. And that fact is because getting him to the corner is really easy, and everything as far as his combos go are pretty similar from 3 hits to like 8 hits. So let's talk about 0 hits first. Oops, let me get to the corner and save state for 1, 2, 3. Okay. So assuming we get this, we have medium punch shoulder, and as you can see there, he didn't go it back towards the corner. And there's 2 ways to deal with this. You can either delay a lot in your medium punch shoulder till he's basically almost on the ground. Or you can walk forward during or after your kicks, and then do the and then do the medium punch shoulder. Those are your 2 options. So off of this, you have 4 medium kick times 2 into palm into your ender. You have heavy kick up kicks into the 2 different options, whether it's medium punch shoulder forward fierce into Kara dash punch, or medium punch shoulder into crouch medium punch up kicks. They both do about 60 damage, and they both give about the same meter. And then you also have the heavy punch dash punch into the special ender, which does about 62 to 63 damage, and gives you the most meter possible. These are Xbox numbers. Again, this will be scaled back in arcade. I'll get those numbers later and update them. I just wanted to get this video out there first. And then you have the heavy kick up kicks combo for him. Which is significantly less damage, but it's still decent meter. So that is what it is. Now, what happens when you cut out the, or you make them block 2 hits, right? You have medium shoulder into forward medium kick. Then you have far stand heavy punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder ender, or light punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, whatever you want to do. Oops. So that's about 55 damage, which is very good. Same thing as the far stand heavy punch one. It's about the same damage. Now you can also do oops. You can also do the medium punch shoulder into forward medium kick into far stand heavy punch into dash punch. And if you walk forward, you can get the side swap. I just forgot to walk forward there. And then you can get your forward fierce. Let's do it one more time. There we go. It's a little bit less damage, but it's more meter. You get like 40%, 45%. Same thing with the heavy kicks up kick version of this. Oops, wrong one. And then you have forward medium kick, and then Kara. So this is close to 50% meter. So it's 3 crouching medium punches away from 55%. So it's about 45%-ish? No. 40, yeah, almost 50% meter off of that as well. And then you also have forward medium kick times 2 into Karasani medium kick. Oops. Off of the medium punch shoulder stuff. And as you can see there, you have to be able to react to your opponent going in the opposite direction with dash punch into an ender like that. Because if you can't react to that and you fuck up the timing, then you're just going to waste your meter, and it's not worth it. And I didn't walk enough. Oops. It's still 1 to 2 hits. So for this, you don't want to walk forward too much for the first forward medium kick. Otherwise, it won't work. And sometimes you can get that to happen, which is pain in the ass, which is why I don't suggest this ender specifically. I would just go with the forward medium kick into far stand heavy punch stuff instead. It's more consistent. But you have this option as well, which is probably the best choice that you can get. And in order to do this, you have to walk forward for your forward medium kick into medium punch shoulder, which you also have to walk for. So it's a little bit difficult. So when you do that, you can do forward medium kick, light punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, forward fierce dash punch. And this is going to be 56 to 57 damage, and it's also going to give you about as much meter as possible. So to me, this is the best damage combo that you can get. It's only best by like 2 hits, but the difference between doing a medium punch shoulder combo to start and a forward medium kick and a medium punch shoulder combo to start is minuscule. So I would just go with the first. And as far as 3 and 4 hit combos go, light punch shoulder, medium punch shoulder, forward fierce dash punch. Crouching medium punch up kicks. And then you also have the punch shoulder, forward medium kick into light punch shoulder. God damn it. For the most damage possible, which is 55 damage, and it's also like 50% meter. The funny thing is, the same exact thing basically works for the 7 to 8 hit stuff. So this 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Again, it's like 50 damage and close to 50% meter. You also have the choice of doing the forward medium kick thing, and it's okay, but just doing medium punch shoulder is fine. For 9 to 10 hits, medium punch shoulder, light punch shoulder, forward fierce, or forward medium. Sorry, forward fierce into dash punch. So that's an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 44 damage. And then you have double medium kick up kicks into shoulder, into crouch medium punch up kicks as well. Now this pushes them slightly back towards the corner, but doesn't give you full corner pressure. God damn it, why am I missing my up kicks? You can also do that combo if you want. That doesn't exactly work, but that's okay. Ah, my execution sucks right now. I apologize for those of you that are watching this video and just seeing shitty execution. There we go. 40 damage. It's less damage than the other one, so go with the other one if you can help it. And then you also have the forward medium kick one. Forward medium kick into medium punch shoulder. And again, why is my up kick's not coming out? There we go. That's 45 damage. So either the first one with medium punch shoulder first or forward medium kick first, those are going to be your best options. Now for 11 to 14 hits, it's just going to be medium kick, up kicks, crouch medium punch into up kicks. Medium punch shoulder, crouch medium punch, up kicks. Those are like your best options. And all of them keep them cornered. Now, you can, for 3 to 4 hits, also do forward medium kick times 2. Far fierce into a medium punch dash punch. Into your crouching medium punch up kicks under. There we go. That's 47 damage. So that's a lot less damage than the other choices, but it's fancy. It looks cool. You know, do it with it what you will. Important things to note about this character is that when your opponent is trying to do headbutt, as an example, if I walk forward, as you can see, you can punish this with Crouch medium punch up kicks. And if you just stand next to him, you can punish it with 1, 2, 3, but it will only hit him out of the air, so it's like a reset. Unless you're frame perfect, which is very difficult to do, like that. So yeah, that's an important part of understanding how to do your Oki against him, because when Yun is here and is able to do this, right, the opponent can't really do anything other than attempt to down parry or forward parry into whatever. So let's try to do an example of this. So record. Try that one more time. I didn't down parry fast enough. So as you can see here, the crouching medium kick is parried. And max range crouching medium punch. The first hit of the down fierce punch is actually going to connect, so he can't actually launch you off of it. So this deals with headbutt, this deals with parry, this deals with a bunch of options. And the only option that he really has is he can't even throw you either. So his only choice really is to stand heavy punch, which is, you know, a good option. It does a lot of damage and a lot of stun and stuff, but he doesn't get as much off of it. Whereas if you're mixing things up and he goes for a high parry, because this is high parryable as well, you have crouching medium kick, and if he's always going for low parry, then you can, you know, go for Zempo, and, you know, if he reads your Zempo and goes to do a headbutt, well, then you punish it with crouching medium punch up kicks, and it goes on and on and on. So that's probably the most important part of this matchup, is understanding the Oki. And the Oki against Urien is really easy. Don't fucking hit buttons. Like, build your meter, back off, keep him cornered. Don't take unnecessary risks, especially if you're close to gaining meter. Don't contest him when he has meter and has the ability to crouching fierce into any sort of setup, whether it's a shoulder into Aegis or a headbutt into Aegis and then re-corner you. It's just not worth it. I mean, every once in a while you can, you know, make him make a guess just to, you know, get him guessing. So once you establish that you're capable of doing something on his wake up, it forces Urien to guess, because just blocking is not going to do him much good. He gets a whole lot more risk reward off of, you know, a guess parry than most characters, because of his launch and how his super works off of a back throw, similar to Denjin Ryu. So those are things that you need to be aware of, which is why also staying in the mid screen against Urien is not a bad choice. And something to note is that if you do Zembo Tension mid screen, you basically get the same combos minus the palms. You just substitute a palm with a far stand heavy punch instead. Super simple. So you have basically all the different options because of how much pushback you actually have off of your normal pressure strings, that spacing in your choices, as long as you know you're going to get your opponent back to the corner, doesn't matter. It only matters for that situation, which is the light punch shoulder into forward heavy punch off of a medium punch shoulder forward medium kick setup, or a forward medium kick medium punch shoulder setup. So for that, you actually just have to change it just a little bit. So you would do medium punch shoulder into light punch shoulder into either medium punch shoulder or dash punch. And this combo can be difficult to hit sometimes. So, yeah. It's a little bit different mid-screen, which is why the medium punch shoulder into forward medium kick is the better choice off of 5 to 6 hits. And it's also more consistent in general. So, you know, you have almost basically all the same choices. And the more hits that you do, like up to 12 hits, right, it just forces them into the corner anyway. So the only difference that it really has is off of like 1, 2 into whatever, or sorry, 1, 2. But it doesn't really change much because it just cuts out one of the buttons during your main combo. So instead of doing forward medium kick times 2, you just do forward medium kick times 1, and that's pretty much the only change for mid-screen stuff. Let's try this just a little bit closer to the middle of the screen, or slightly further away than that. So the other thing is that you can just completely cut out the shoulder and just continue with multiple forward medium kicks instead. The damage is going to be slightly lower, but that doesn't really matter. So from middle screen, you know, the combos that you can do are relatively similar. Especially off of low hit Zembo stuff. So like even basic stuff like that still gives you over 50 damage, and it gets you a knockdown. You get about 25% meter. You know, you're good to go. So this has been Geneijin 101 against Urien. Urien's one of the simpler characters, so let's do a character that's a little bit more difficult next. I'm going to skip Hugo as the next character. We're going to go right to Chun-Li and Makoto, or Chun-Li, and then we'll decide after that whether it's going to be Hugo or Makoto. So expect sometime this week for there to be a Chun-Li video. Maybe on Monday, or maybe on Tuesday night at some point. Thanks for watching.